What's up, party people? I will tell you this right now. After watching Trump today, first of all, proud to be an American, always. Secondly, I can easily make an argument. I don't think he's ever felt that much love, period. As much as MAGA loves him, as much as, even after the assassination attempt, I don't think he felt as much love as he did over there. I mean, they welcomed in a way that was just incredible. Incredible. And it's an amazing thing. Like I say, I will, if Trump does something silly, I'll criticize. If he does something great, I'm going to praise it. And this was awesome. One guy could get this done. One guy. One guy had the cojones enough as a president to look Bibi in the eye or on the phone and say, dude, you're doing this. All right, we're not going to allow you to go back and go, well, what about this and what about that and negotiate. No, we're doing this. This right here is going to get done. Period. Case closed. And this is the way this thing's going to go. We are too close to this, and I'm not going to allow you to continue to push, because they are. Man, we told you the other night, there were plenty inside of his cabinet that wanted no part of any of this. But he let it be known. This isn't one of those things where I'm giving you the first opportunity to hear what I'm offering you, and then you come back with a second one. No, this is the way this works. You're doing this. This is how it's going to go. It's done. It's dusted. It's not take it or leave it. You're taking it, period. Kelly's closed. Earlier today, the big signing. That's him signing.
This took 3,000 years to get to this point. Can you believe it? And it's going to hold up, too. It's going to hold up.
I hope so. Doesn't mean there's not going to be pressure. Doesn't mean there's not going to be issues, because there is. But watching people get their loved ones back today, knowing that people are going to be able to lay their loved ones who lost their lives to rest, this is a momentous day, a huge day. I'm 54. Never saw it in my lifetime at all. I saw a lot of war. I saw a lot of fighting. I've seen a lot of people try to get close and they get killed. I've seen a lot of stuff. Never thought that you would see something like this. And it was done in a way that was so much different than what a lot of people thought it had to be. The Oslo Accords, right? You go back to Camp David and all of these things. No, this was a way that was, we're all doing this, right? You guys all have skin in the game because this is your neighborhood. So let's get on it. And let's get it done. Like I say, doesn't mean that there isn't going to be issues, because there will be issues. But there's going to be some opportunities here to change things in a pathway that is different than most people ever thought.
We gather on a day of profound joy, of soaring hope, of renewed faith, and above all, a day to give our deepest thanks to the Almighty God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
His speech today was actually pretty damn good. Normally, he's not great at reading off the teleprompter. Let's be honest. He's much more a riff guy, right? He likes to do crowd work. And he does. He loves himself. I love a little crowd work. It's going to be great. Where are you guys here? Where are you guys in from tonight? Tel Aviv. Nice. But he was great today in the Knesset. And kudos to him. Kudos to him. This is going to take a while. This is generational. That's what I was telling everybody, because I did a bunch of stuff this morning on top of my show. And I'm saying this is a generational thing. And the generational thing goes like this. You're looking at a decade or two before things, if they get it to where they want it to go, for it to look and to be like what you see in the UAE and some of these other places. That is going to take time. That is a generational thing. And there will be bumps along the road, no doubt about it. But you got to start somewhere. And Trump, he's already like, hey, look, we're already on to phase two.
Well, it started as far as we're concerned. Phase two has started. And, the phases are all a little bit mixed in with each other. You're going to start cleaning up. You look at Gaza, it needs a lot of cleanup.
It does. They're talking $50 to $100 billion worth of stuff over time. So this will be very interesting.
Who pays for that? Us?
No, probably everybody's throwing a little something into it. The question is, who's getting the big contracts? Therein lies the magic of it all. Because guys are already doing they're already doing their big bids, right? Where they're not worried about any competition. Yeah, we'll clean it up for $600 gazillion.
And a strawberry smoothie. So, yeah, that's where the big money comes in, coming in and cleaning it up. So Trump is, what is he doing? He's in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, very nice place. It's where a lot of people go on holiday. And he is, I guess he and all the leaders together, they were signing, you heard the thing earlier, they were signing some stuff. And we'll get some of this audio a little bit later, but they said that President of Pakistan on, Keir Starmer's there, our girl Maloney is there as well. So you got pretty much everybody, and then some, this king of, I think is it the Prince of Jordan? King of Jordan, I'm not quite sure. I think that's him over there as well. So you got a lot of people up here, and they all got a part to play. Everybody. Europe has got a part to play in this as well. All right? Everybody, we're all doing it. Yeah? Okay? You guys get it? We're all doing this. It ain't going to just be us. All right? All right. Fantastic. Hope you guys had a good weekend. A lot of stuff still to get to today. I was telling Chris, so Chris was here today, but wasn't here Friday. So, Ken, you'll appreciate this. I go home Friday after doing 900 hours of work. I'm like, I'm tired, usual stuff. Go to bed, wake up. Worst headache I've ever had in my life. Barely could move. I was supposed to go play golf. I feel like, ugh. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to make it. I can barely see. And I tell my wife, I'm going to go lay down. 11:15. I woke up at 5:30, had some chicken soup that she had made, went back to bed, woke up at 8 o'clock yesterday morning. It did not feel good. I don't know if something's going around. Just putting it out there. So, because even today, Chris was still looking a little, and I feel him, man. I'll tell you what, I feel him on that. So much stuff. We're going to talk more about this. Obviously, big deal, big brewing here. We're also going to talk about, okay, here's a perfect example of craziness. I love how you can never give Trump a compliment without dissing him. When did I diss him there? Nobel Peace Prize. This was amazing. He's the only person who could ever get this done. Anybody? What did I say? He's not good at reading off the teleprompter.
Well, he was not, but he knows that.
Well, that's a critical
it's not.
personality flaw.
No, that's what he does. He likes to riff. You know that. He loves crowd work. Trump loves crowd work. We don't have to. I said his speech was great. He loves crowd work. He's very good at crowd work, too. He really is. He really is. Plus, the governor, are we still shut down? Does anybody know if we're shut down?
I hope so.
Good God. I heard we're shut down. I don't know how much we're shut down, but I hear that we're trying to get money for, Bill and I were talking about, Trump's like, go get all the petty cash you can get. We're gonna have to make sure that everybody gets paid in the military. We need the petty cash. Go get it. We need it. So there's $8 billion that Trump had. Well, they have earmarked for, like, I guess it's research and some development and stuff. And I guess Trump told Pete Hegseth, go get that money, move it over somewhere else, and let's get these guys and gals paid. And over the weekend, and it was a lot of places, there's pictures and there's videos of our military in line at the food bank, which, by the way, happens even if they do get paid, because they don't get paid great. And sometimes their dollars don't stretch far enough. So this was extra this weekend. And that is a look that was not something that they want, anybody wants to see. It is a tough situation knowing that our men and women who are fighting for us, who are protecting our nation, they may have to go without for a little bit. It's okay, though, because we're gonna get this sorted out. No, you get it sorted out now. And I know, Mike Johnson came out today and he's like, well, we're never coming back, because that's basically the whole thing about us never coming back until the bad guys over here do what we want them to do. How about both of you get in the room, act like adults, and let's get this damn thing sorted out?
We have to fix healthcare in America.
Do you? Do you, Mike? Are you really? Are you serious?
We have to fix healthcare in America, and we have ideas to do it. But we have to have government open and operating to do that. I cannot snap my fingers and go in a back room with Chuck Schumer and say, oh, here's the magic fix for it. It's not how it's going to work.
No, it's not. But you didn't care about healthcare at all.
And every fix they've ever come up with has done a great job of making things worse.
Making things worse. Maybe, and now here's the problem. Unwinding that is going to be a nightmare. Obamacare, unwinding Obamacare, trying to get it out of everything, it's going to be a nightmare. We've talked about the nightmare that Obamacare became because you allowed the companies, the insurance companies, to craft it along with government. And then the states have all their regulations. You start throwing things together. That's why people say, well, what about going across state lines? We talked about that. It's there if the states will allow it. And the states are saying, we don't want to do it because they recognize, no, they have their laws. We have ours. We're not going to merge together these two. So it's a nightmare. And it's going to continue to get worse. And this is one of those things where healthcare, people's premiums, they're going to start getting them in the next couple weeks. And I know open enrollment for us starts, I think, on Friday, right? 17th. Yeah.
17th, yeah.
Yeah, so Friday. And for a lot of other people, it's November 1st. And when they start seeing what their premiums are going to look like, when they start seeing what their copays are going to look like, what their deductibles look like, it's going to hit the fan. There is no doubt about it. It is going to get ugly, and it is going to hit the fan. And I would like to say it would be an easy fix, but they broke it. They broke it so many ways. I don't even know what the fix looks like, but you've got to do something, and you can't just allow everybody to dangle out there and to pay double what they're paying now, because that is not a winning argument next year. So everybody, right and left, get your butt inside and fix this. The win is for America, not for the politics. I'd like to think that's true. Not sure if that is always true anymore. Hope you guys had a good weekend. I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about this whole thing today? It's amazing. I watched it overnight. It was just awesome to watch because I was up early because that's what I do. And I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm just fascinated by the players, all the things that are going on. Do you know they even invited Iran to come to the thing today in Egypt? Because they're like, come participate in this, which I'm sure there was some of them like, we should. And they're like, no, don't. But they should have. Right? Bring everybody to the table. Let's do it. And what this has the potential of doing is moving out to where people in Lebanon, well, a certain portion of Lebanon, not talking about Beirut and everything, but outward towards where, Israel is going to see, oh, there's a better way. Yemen, there's a better way. Mm-hmm. There is. It's going to be awesome, and it's going to be, like I said, it's not going to be smooth, but it's going to be, I was telling my kids last night, this is history, the kind of stuff that you see in books and that they do amazing documentaries on. This is what this looks like. All right, coming up, a lot of stuff to get to today. Tons of fun stuff as well. Not just this, but like lots of fun stuff. We'll also have the latest on what took place on Friday in Tennessee. 16 gone. It was a national story, just like that. Luckily, it wasn't 19. Could you imagine being those three people who were off-site? How they must feel, how blessed they must feel, and, of course, guilt, survivor's guilt as well. The battle between China and us is heating up, and China really tried to go after us last week in a way that was crazy, that didn't be talked about because of what's going on here. But it was serious, what they would like to do to us. They're not backing down when it comes to these tariffs. They're doubling and tripling down. Talk about that, among other things. If you're missing the show, shame on you. Grab the podcast. It is the Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 997. Government shutdown. It's very exciting, government shutdown talk. Coming up next 3 hours, government shutdown talk. Whose fault is it?
My life seems oddly more relaxed since the government shutdown.
Yeah, there's a... Look, if you work for the government and you're missing a paycheck, we understand.
I know people that are.
I do, too. I know some people that were told to, stay at home. I have a couple friends, actually, who they contract with the government. So they don't work directly for the government, but their big contracting is with the government. And they're worried that this thing's going to drag on a little bit longer and longer. And that's going to be a nightmare for them because there is no back pay for that.
Not for the contractors.
Not for the contractors. And that is that sucks. It sucks. But I continue to go, what's the holdup here? You guys can't come. It's 7 weeks. You can't do a CR for 7. What's going to happen in 7 weeks? Why can't you guys ever come up with a budget? I don't ever hear anybody asking that. Why can't we just come up with a budget? Oh, yeah. Because of the thing. What thing? We don't know. You guys make it up as you go. It's a joke. Come up with a budget. Get it done. It should have already been done. How many CRs do you guys need? As many as you need. To what? To kick it to the next term? To kick it to the next year? To kick it to the next month? I mean, the Democrats wanted to have a 10-day CR. Anything. Just let's keep kicking it. Come on, we could do it. Just one more. We've got problems, and we need to address those problems. But you're not going to do it by not showing up. And it goes back to until there is a poll that definitively shows that one side is the one to blame, then you're going to see them stick it out for as long as possible. And by the way, if Trump, and I hope he does, finds a way to get the military paid, this thing's going to go on a lot longer. A lot longer.
Yeah, because then that pressure's off.
Yeah, because that's probably the biggest pressure. I mean, because he's going to furlough some people, still try to figure out how not to pay them. He's going to hopefully have all his necessary folks come in as much as possible. And then he's going to try to fire a bunch of folks. Reduction in force. But if he finds a way to get the military paid, man, they will let this thing ride out till who knows when. Until it starts to affect the economy. Then that'll be a different story, especially as you go into the, to Christmas time. But it'll definitely go on a long time if they can get that done. And I don't know if he can. I mean, it depends on who you're asking. And over here, they say, well, you can't do that by law. You can't do this. And Congress has to do that. And Trump, it's like, it's better to ask for forgiveness than for permission. So what are they going to do? Whine that I paid the troops? That's a tough win for them to whine at. So I don't know. I don't know if he can get this done. And it's $8 billion. Transfers it over. Everybody gets a coin, too. Everybody gets a Trump coin. Who wants a Trump coin? Everybody gets one.
I'll take one for free.
Yeah. They're worth $400 million apiece. There's no market for them, but have fun. But if he can get them paid, I could see this go easily into November. Easily into November, if he can get them paid. And that's a big if, but I think he's going to find a way through just whatever money's in the other checking account, move it over to this one.
There always seems to be an off-ramp.
Always. Now, the bigger picture is both of them need to get their asses in there and do their jobs. And you shouldn't have to wait till the last night to take up these big issues. But you do. Because you push everything off, you hem, you haw, you don't finally roll out a bill or a CR until it's time, and then everybody's thrown something in or they've taken something out. That's the problem. There should be like, hey, this is going to arrive here. You guys have a week and a half to 2 weeks to read it. Then we're going to debate it. Then you guys pull in and out, and then we'll vote on it. Not the hour before. They're like a bunch of kids trying to get their, report ready for tomorrow. All right, coming up. China and us. China. Can't trust China. We know that. Talk a little bit about that. Trump says he may not go to heaven. I don't get that. I don't get that part. He's trying really hard. He understands that, he's done a lot, but, if he believes, he's still going. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Bunch of other good stuff in front of us as well, including 46% of you feel this way about a certain thing. We will talk about that as well. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Today is Columbus Day, for those of you not keeping score.
So that means the government's double shut down.
It's double shutdown. There was a double. The fact that Mike Johnson was still there is beyond crazy. It's because it's double, triple shutdown today. Quadruple. It couldn't get more shutdown if they tried. By the way, Columbus is demonized. I'm not going to lie to you. He was kind of a Richard. All right? Just want to point that out to you. There was times that Columbus was kind of a Richard. But what he did was arguably the greatest thing in humankind. Don't take it from me. Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about Columbus.
Okay, I think him coming to America was the most significant thing to ever happen in our species.
Whoa.
I think it was the most significant event to happen in our species.
Think about that. And the reason was, so you had obviously the Straits, right? So you had the tip of China, everything's together. They got the big, giant, huge bridge. Everybody wanders across, and by everybody, not a lot. Then it melts, and all of a sudden, these people are over here, so they populate North America, Central America, South America. There's 8 families, so 8 bloodlines for all of us. All of us. That's it. And when there isn't the branching off, things don't always go well. And when because they were cut completely off from the rest of the world. Kind of like Australia. He goes out to point out that, but we've talked about this for years on my show. Think about Australia. What do they have? They have mammals with pouches, right? Marsupials. They have those. They have weird things. Why? Because they're cut off completely from the rest of the world. It's just a different place. So what Columbus did, like it or not, brutal as it was, and it was brutal. It was a brutal time. It wasn't a simple time, right? You rolled in, let's be honest, if it was the 1400s and you rolled off a boat, right, and you saw Giant Bell rolling at you, right, his hair flowing in the wind, right, Ken and I behind him look like crazy-ass Vikings, we got some hatchets in our hand, maybe, and we see you, we've never seen anything like you before in our life, maybe there would be some unease. Just a smidge. And by the way, we have a finite amount of people. We landed on your land. You may have 100,000 people. We don't know. We have? A few boats. That's it. Right? It's not a clown car, right? They're not just coming out over and over again.
And what did it take to run a boat? About 75 people?
Yeah.
So they had, maybe 325.
Maybe 325. There wasn't subs out there. There was none of that stuff. Just Ken and I rowing, row. So what he did was amazing. Now, it would eventually happen anyways, but he did it. And yeah, it was a bit brutal. It was horrible. Nobody's denying that. Still also never showed up on North American land. Just like to point out that everybody thinks that he rolled in. He didn't land on Plymouth Rock. He didn't? No.
That was the Pilgrims.
Sure? I'm pretty sure he did. No, he didn't. Hispaniola, the Dominican, those areas. But he opened up something. But what he did was he brought humans to an area that had been cut off from these other humans. And now this is what we have. We have a new branch, and then another branch, and another branch. Did he bring disease? He did, by the way. You know what he brought back? Syphilis, gonorrhea. He brought that back to Europe. So look at that. But you cannot sit there and go, well, he didn't really do anything. He was a bad person. No, he was a person who in his time was a rock freaking star that undertook something that was crazy at the time. Because even though, the world was, nobody's going to fall off of it. Everybody by then had known. But you still had no idea. There was no satellite, right? There wasn't like, hey, there's going to be some wind over here. We should really probably delay it a little bit. No, there was just like, hey, I hope we make it out of the harbor.
And thank God he decided to cross the Atlantic and not the Pacific. Because the Pacific, you would have thought, just went on forever.
Yeah. I mean, so amazing. So when everybody freaks out and goes, oh, my God. No, brilliant. Absolutely incredible. Yes, he was a Richard. Get over it. Absolutely get over that portion of it. Because this was a time when there was, like I said, you roll up to another place, you'd be a little nervous too. Just a smidge. And we know a lot more. A lot more. 46% of us, let's see if any of you feel this way. Okay? 46% of workers feel numb and unfulfilled. Do you feel that way, Belle? You're numb, you're unfulfilled.
I would say I'm numb, but I'm not unfulfilled.
It's all those drugs, man. You got to stop taking those, dude. You need to just come out to life.
Please, we can talk about that later.
Ken, do you feel numb and unfulfilled?
I wish.
So they asked all these.
I don't want to feel unfulfilled, but I wouldn't mind feeling numb right now.
A little numb every once in a while. Look, I'll be honest. Sometimes when some of these stories are as bad as they have been in the past, you kind of when you start feeling numb, that's scary. But
I'll bear it back. I got to grab Tequila seltzer.
So when asked, they asked all of these people, both here and in Britain, to describe their relationship with work in one word. Fulfilling, rewarding, nope. Tired, surviving, unfulfilling, necessary, blah, meh, adequate, autopilot. One person simply wrote, I'm here to get paid. I think we've all had one of those jobs. Usually when you're in a job like that where you're there to get paid, it's because you're getting paid well. But more and more people are frustrated by where they are. And in fact, over half of these people say that they have thought about quitting. And I think at a time when you go back to, I would say, what was going on during the pandemic, when everybody was looking for somebody, I think a lot of people would leave. But now people are stuck, right? So they're doing what they can to try to get through the day. But, I mean, meh. Is your job? How's your job? Meh. You're going to be there a lot during the day. If meh is the best you're going to do, that's scary. Companies announce new rules, ways of working, or strategy. 30% of employees report feeling numb or indifferent. Another 17% said they feel nothing at all. 23% said such an announcement, so like this is all new, we're all doing all these great things, made them feel inspired or excited. 30% said the feeling overwhelmed and made them feel anxious, which is not good. That is not good at all. If it's making, but you know, I understand like how many times I've worked places where everybody's promised the world, right? You're going to go into a place, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. This is going to be great. It's going to be awesome. Over here is going to be great. This is the best place to blah, blah. They never tell you, oh, by the way, our bosses are, they're kind of idiots. They're going to lie to you about how much they're going to pay you, and then they're going to take away some of that money. They're going to tell you can have all these days off, and then the minute you go to have all those days off, they're going to yank them away for you. They never tell you the bad part. That's why you've always got to find somebody, if you're serious about making moves somewhere, who works there, who is going to give you an absolute honest opinion about the place.
And if they ever need to cut the budget, you'll be gone in a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat. It's not very nice, but it's true. It's only because of the Democrats that we had to fire everybody who's a Democrat. So, do you feel meh? Are you part of the 46% of people who feel meh? I think a lot of you do, because I hear from you. Some of you, I love my job. I do. I mean, I love my job. Is it, there's times when it's exhausting and there's times when it's tough. There's no doubt about that. We've talked about it. Like Friday was a tough day. 19 people. Thank God it was only, now it's down to 16. But it's a tough thing. When you're talking about, I was watching this weekend, I watched Governor Lee. I watched them, again, the press conferences and the churches, the struggle out there with, those people died instantly. So that's the only, if you're going to take anything away, that nobody suffered. But, how that's a tough thing, or shootings and stuff like that. Those are tough. But for the most part, I love my gig. Even when you guys tell me how much I suck. That's when Bell fires back lots of Taylor Swift stuff at you. Don't you forget it, too. Bell will do it all day long. Speaking of getting your job done, ladies and gentlemen.
There are people on both sides of this war who do not want peace. You've got the extremists in Gaza, in Hamas, and you have Israeli religious extremists who've been saying quite openly that they want the war to continue and that they don't ever want there to be a Palestinian state. And Benjamin Netanyahu has echoed those calls from the far right in Israel. Now, does he really believe that, or is he just saying that, playing to a constituency that he needs in order to remain in government?
Some of it may be true. I think he would like to have continued the push, the fight. I think that's a possibility because he's got. You guys do realize, and I've got his charges coming up. I'll play him a little bit later. His charges are massive. He faces serious time, and there is a Israel's a very unique place. You've got, the Hasidic Jews. You've got a lot of and you've got the secular Jews. There was always a battle going on. A lot of them are very upset by the way that this happened because about 90% of people didn't care about the genocide, didn't care about what's going on over there, but were exhausted and wanted their family members back. And this is the best way to do it. On top of that, inside of his own cabinet, his two big pals wanted no part of this. But Trump said, sorry, that's not the way this works. This is how this works here. But the pressure is going to be on him because he doesn't believe that it's going to stick. He thinks at some point in time that there's going to be, a nightmare that's going to happen. Something's going to take place. What's it going to be? I don't know. Where's it going to be? Maybe it's the West Bank this time. Maybe it is. I don't know. So do I think it's going to stick? I think there's going to be ebbs and flows, but you got to expect that in a situation like this. You do. And you can't underplay, though, how important this is. I mean, this is an amazing, incredible day. And Trump should take as many victory laps as he can get. No doubt. No doubt about that. Coming up, still got a lot of good stuff. Oh, Taylor Swift. She was at the football game last night.
That's why they won. She's their good luck charm.
She is their good luck charm. She was there. But her album sales, wow. Even for her, people are saying, wow. Like, incredible. Incredible. We'll talk a bit about that because, you know what? We can't just talk about this stuff all day. All right? Plus, Ken saw a movie that weirded him out. We might have to get the story about that. Because he started telling me about it, and I was going to watch it this week. Now I might have to go and watch it tonight to see if it's as weird as he say it is. Because I love horror movies, and they're amazing. And
You've seen it, though, right?
I've not. No, this is the brand new one. So this is a brand new VHS movie.
Okay, you're talking about the new. He was talking about the old.
Yeah.
The original.
Yeah, so he's talking, but they've got so many new ones that have come out over time. And this new one's supposed to be great because I love horror movies. Oh, and by the way, Friday, just to let you guys know, Hallmark kicks off some of their the Christmas stuff. Just want to put that out there. In case you guys
Speaking of ladies, how did the Titans play this weekend?
So they're a football team. So there's that. So they got uniforms and everything. It's a big L for those of you not keeping score, but I think you knew that. I think you didn't need to ask that question. I think you knew that. If you missed any show, shame on you. Grab the podcast. It is the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. Oh my Lord! So they pulled the trigger, huh? I guess you can't win games 6-0.
Yeah.
I saw a reel from Afton this weekend. I think it was on her Instagram where she was talking about the Tennessee OSHA department.
Yeah,
had apparently fined that company for safety violations in the past.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have some of those. You have big companies. They're always getting fined in some way, shape, or form just because you have big companies and you may miss something here. But
well, apparently there was a situation where workers were having seizures after work.
Oh, that's not
because of chemical exposure, and OSHA only fined them $7,000.
Well, there you go. Then they had an explosion before, right? If I'm correct, am I correct? I think they had one other issue where they lost somebody, but nothing like this. I mean, this was catastrophic. My wife looked at it. She goes, which is which? I said, that's the new old building that's no longer there, and that's what it looked like before they built the building on top of it. Nothing. And it was a national story. It was everywhere. I mean, the amount of power that blast had, it's just, and like we said, like talk about on Friday, imagine, you wake up, you go to work, and that's it. You don't see your kids, you don't see your family, they never see you again. It's over in a second. And not just you, but all of your coworkers in that area. And 3 other ones happened to be off site, which was a blessing.
The force that it would take to turn that building into that, I mean, there's a lack of rubble. It was such a big explosion.
And finding, like we said, the now going through everything inch by inch, and like you said, rubble, there's just nothing. Everything seemed to be just liquefied that was there or blown just to the point where there's just, it's not being found. So how do you find out which chemical started it? How do you find that is... It's what they get paid for. And sometimes, you may not find out. You just know that, in this building, there were several things that could have gone wrong. and then find out what happens with this company.
Daphne on the text line is saying the explosion was at the same facility, but it was owned by a different company.
Owned by a different company. Okay. So, man, it was just, being a parent, you recognize stuff like this, and you look out there and you think to yourself, did you leave your family did you leave your family with anything? Did you even think about it that day? It's one of those things. I think that's the mortality when you see something like that. Even like Trump this weekend talking about he didn't think he's going to get into heaven and this stuff. Why? Because as Bell and I were talking, he's got more time behind him than in front of him, and you start thinking about things like that. You do. You start absolutely thinking about things like that. Did I do enough? Yeah, you did enough. All right, and what you've done is great, and it's not like tomorrow is it. But, yeah, you could see that. And this was just instantaneous. All right, coming up, hour number 2, more on the big day. It's all signed, sealed, and delivered. Now it's up to everybody to hold up their end of the bargain. We're talking about the peace agreement. A lot of other good stuff. China tried to ruin us on last week. And this is the battle of trade that is going on.
They're our friends.
I don't think so. I think we all recognize that. They're not our pals. We'll talk about that, among other things. Chad Benson, Super Talk 997.